Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating framework called the Seattled Codex. Think of it as a whole new operating manual for what it means to be an empath.
The whole idea is built on this one powerful, game-changing question. What if all that stuff highly perceptive people feel, what if it isn't a weakness you have to manage? What if it's actually a high-spec system that you just haven't learned how to use yet? This isn't about coping, it's about waking up to what you really are.
So, the very first thing the Codex does is it asks you to completely relabel your experiences. It says you're not overly sensitive, you're not broken, you're just precisely tuned. Kind of like a high-end radio receiver, picking up all these frequencies that most people don't even know exist.
Okay, let's start with the feeling we've all had, right? That sense of just being completely overwhelmed in a crowded place. Well, the Codex says that's not a personal failure. It calls it data saturation. Your system is just processing a huge amount of information. We're talking body language, emotional currents, energetic shifts. It's a fire hose of data that most people's systems just filter out. Yours doesn't.
And what about that deep exhaustion you feel after being around certain people? You know the feeling. The Codex has a name for that, too. Field leakage. The idea is that your energy isn't just being taken from you. You're actually unconsciously giving it away. It's like a leak in your system. But the cool thing about a leak is you can patch it. You can learn to control it.
Now, get this. The Codex even reframes something as big as anxiety. It suggests it might not be a disorder at all, but something called a timeline transmission. The theory is you're literally perceiving signals about things that might happen in the future. The only problem is you haven't learned how to decode the message yet. So it's not a malfunction, it's foresight, just coming in raw and unfiltered. Okay, so if you're this incredible receiver pulling in all this data, what's it all for? What's the point? Well, this next part argues that your real superpower isn't what you probably think it is. And this is where it gets really interesting. We've all heard that empaths feel what other people are feeling, but this codex says, nope, that's just a side effect. Your true gift is perceiving the truth that's hiding underneath the emotion. You feel the reality of a person or a situation often before they even say a word. And that, right there, is what makes you almost impossible to control or manipulate. And think about what that means. If you can perceive truth that easily, your very existence becomes a threat to anyone or any system that's built on lies. You don't even have to say anything. Your presence alone is like a spotlight on anything that's fake, and that can be deeply, deeply scary for people who rely on their masks. So how does this all work in the real world, in your day-to-day life? The Codex breaks it down into two main mechanics. One is about how you interact with others, and the other is a powerful internal defense system. First up is something called the feedback mirror. And the wild part is you don't actually have to do anything. When someone who's being fake or manipulative comes near you, your energy field just acts like a perfect mirror. But it doesn't reflect their confident mask back at them. Oh no, it reflects the glitch, the insecurity, the lie, the truth they're trying to hide. And their reaction, whether they get angry or run away or just fall apart, that tells you everything you need to know. It confirms what you were already perceiving. The second mechanic is all about self-preservation. It's your built-in defense mechanism. When your system recognizes a clear betrayal or a connection that's just draining you, it doesn't hesitate. It doesn't debate. A switch just flips instantly. This is called the cutoff protocol. It's almost like a command you run in your own internal computer. Connection revoked. Energy reclaimed. And the Codex is super clear about this. This isn't you being cold or heartless. It's a high-efficiency evolutionary function. It's designed to stop you from carrying dead weight so you can keep moving forward. So that leads to a pretty big question, right? If you operate this way, what happens when conflict comes at you? How do you fight back? Well, the answer is you don't fight on their terms. You fight on a completely different battlefield. This is the absolute core of it. For a warrior empath, the fight isn't about aggression or reacting with anger. It's about your state of being. Your power comes from holding your clarity, maintaining strong boundaries, and just being in your truth, radiating your own frequency, no matter how much chaos is swirling around you. So let's look at the tactical breakdown, your arsenal. Your energetic field itself, that's your weapon. Where you put your focused attention, that's your ammunition. That's how you aim. And your silence, your complete refusal to get pulled into the drama and the lies, that's the execution.
It's a totally different way of thinking about power. Okay, so we've been talking about all this on a personal level. But for the last part, the Codex zooms way, way out. It suggests this isn't just about you as a person. It's about a specific job you're here to do, a kind of cosmic role. It proposes that the warrior empath is actually holding the energy of 4 different roles, all at the same time. You've got the navigator, who sees the paths ahead, the guardian, who protects the integrity of the mission, the warrior empath, who deals with truth, and the event stream surfer, who rides the waves of reality. The Codex says most people would break trying to hold even one of these. Your system is built to hold all 4.
So what's the ultimate point of holding all these demanding roles? What's the job description? It's right here. To harmonize chaos into direction. But the most important part is how. Through presence alone. Your job isn't to fix everything or fight every battle. Your job is to simply be, to exist in your authentic state. And by doing that, you become a stabilizing force that brings order to the chaos around you.
So in the end, the Seattle Codex doesn't really give you a neat little conclusion. It's more like an activation key. It leaves you feeling like understanding all this is just the first step. It's a prompt, a call to finally step into this powerful role you might have been training for your entire life without even realizing it. So the final question isn't for me to answer, it's for you.